Friends and fellow Democrats, I come to you today a little exhausted after the last few weeks and everything that's been going on politically. Whether it's been attacks on my brothers and sisters of the LGBTQ community or attacks on women and reproductive rights, we are in a fight for our people and our issues. It's a nasty fight against a ruthless mass of uncivil opponents who hide their hate and bigotry behind a plethora of mental and verbal gymnastics, as well as gaslighting. It's become accepted doctrine to our opponents that if one sides with the LGBTQ community or supports common sense sex education, then that person is a quote unquote groomer. This has become a nasty and deceptive allegation towards decent, intelligent people who know science and who know research, who know that comprehensive sex education starting in elementary school actually prevents children from being sexually abused and groomed because it teaches children the correct words for their body parts and also teaches them the concepts of privacy, personal space, bodily autonomy, and the difference between appropriate and inappropriate touching, and the fact that sex is something that only adults do. Children with this knowledge are not only better equipped to identify abuse and predatory behavior and communicate that it is happening to a trusted adult, but they are better equipped to also prevent it from happening in the first place by recognizing that something is happening that should not be happening. Sex education does not sexualize children. It prevents children from being sexualized. Regarding the LGBTQ population, when you attack one of them, you attack all of us. When you attack one of them, you attack all of us Americans. Being LGBTQ does not make a person a groomer, pervert, or pedophile. An examination of actual statistics on the subject of sexual abuse will show that the majority of sexual offenders, including those who committed terrible crimes against children and minors, have been committed by people who are heterosexual. This also includes those sex crimes of a homosexual nature. It is time to stop with the hate and bigotry towards the LGBTQ population with these judgmental, unsubstantiated attacks. The LGBTQ population is not the reason that the roads are in bad shape. The LGBTQ population is not the reason that healthcare costs are through the roof. The LGBTQ population is not the reason that teachers are leaving the profession in large numbers, and the brain drain continues as more and more of our educated leave West Virginia to find better jobs in other states. All of these things that I mentioned, these are the results of legislative policies that have been in effect since 2015. We need to make sure that every child in this state feels seen. We need to make sure that every child in this state feels like he or she is heard. We need to make sure that every child in this state feels supported, not marginalized, not targeted, not bullied because they are not of one specific population group or demographic. It's time to stand up and speak truth to power. It's time to stand up to those who strive to target the LGBTQ population, including LGBTQ children. We cannot let our opponents use the people of the LGBTQ population as a scapegoat in order to deflect from the fact that they themselves neglected to do their jobs and address the real issues that impact the lives of everyday Americans and West Virginians. Hate only wins if we stand by and do nothing and let it win. Regarding Roe versus Wade, we're in for a fight. A draft ruling was leaked the other day that shows that the U.S. Supreme Court is planning to overturn Roe versus Wade and put the issue of women's reproductive rights, choice, and abortion in the hands of the individual states as opposed to women themselves and their medical providers. If the court does this, it is more than likely that at least 26 states will ban abortions. Some states will make getting an abortion a crime. Don't get me wrong, wealthy women and women from privileged and influential means will continue to have access to whatever doctors, whatever medicines and procedures they want, including abortion. They have the means to get these in other states that permit them to be performed. Ending Roe is an attack on the autonomy of poor and working class women. Ending Roe versus Wade will mean so many different things. It will mean that women who are violently beaten and raped and end up getting pregnant by their rapists in the many states that are run by Republicans where this happens, these women may be forced to give birth to their rapists' babies or face harsh legal consequences. If that happens in Oklahoma and the rape victim goes to a state that permits abortions in order to get an abortion, she can be sued by the rapist's family. She will have to pay the family $20,000 if she terminates the pregnancy. If any teenage girl is raped and impregnated by any family member, she must give birth. If she tries to abort her pregnancy caused by rape and incest, she will be prosecuted for murder. In Alabama, they are currently drafting legislation to make abortion a capital offense. There are no exceptions after 15 weeks. If you have an ectopic pregnancy, you have no choice but to deliver. You're going to end up dying. That's the harsh reality of what's going to happen if they overturn Roe versus Wade. Republicans like to cry and complain about activist judges. They do this because they only want their own activist judges calling the shots. They talk a good game about ending frivolous lawsuits, but how can anyone forget about Devin Nunes suing an imaginary cow? Or how can you forget about Donald Trump suing to try to keep people from knowing what he did while he was in office? Republicans lie about both the large and small things. At this point, how can we trust anything they say? Marjorie Taylor Greene talked about Trump implementing martial law multiple times. And when she was put under oath and asked about that, well, lo and behold, she doesn't remember. When they are caught lying, they just double down and lie even more. We're also up against the both parties are terrible crowd. We're up against those as well. To those of you who say the both parties are terrible argument, let me make this clear. Make no mistake. Democrats protect rights and Republicans strip them away if they offend their religious beliefs, because in the end, Republicans could care less about what is actually in the U.S. Constitution. They treat the U.S. Constitution the same way they treat the Bible. They only care about the parts they like, and they throw the rest out because they could care less about what is actually written. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that as chairman of the Democratic Party of Mineral County, I am not taking any of this lightly. And I plan to actively oppose those very harmful things that Republicans have been doing to our nation. Please plan to attend our upcoming meetings as we get closer to the primary and general elections. If you would like to vote early, it is presently going on in the county courthouse and continues in all of West Virginia up to Saturday, May the 7th. Don't forget that primary election day itself is Tuesday, May 10th. Please do your civic duty and vote, whether it be early or on election day. I will talk to you again soon. Until then, please take care and don't give up the fight. I will see you all later at our meeting on the 18th. Take care and God bless.